Hi, welcome to We're Crackin Up Podcast, Season 1, Episode 13.
Woo, woo.
Woo. So, quick disclaimer, this show is going to be a little racy, so viewer discretion advised. So, going straight into it.
Oh.
I'm Julie, this is Rich, by the
Hi,
way. Hey.
I'm Rich, this is Julie.
So, what is our racy dish today?
Oh, the dirty dish.
The dirty
this is
dish.
A dirty dish.
So, shall we go see?
Let's get those dirty dish.
Okay.
Get that dirty dish out.
All right.
I'm going to turn my
Here we go. Okay.
off. Our audio is good. Confirmation.
Okay. So, today's episode is why is sex taboo?
Ooh, you said the S word. You said the S word.
So really quick, we're going to put our sources out there. I'm going to say them quickly. Allure, Psychologically Today with Michael Kesselman, which was a survey conducted per Justin Lemonlar staff at Indiana University Kinsey Institute, Buzzwire, Marriage.com, CDC, U.S. Census Bureau, and Buzzwire.
See, this isn't just a bunch of stuff that's thrown down on pieces. This is actually research.
Yes, it is.
You are
We
so
researched
good.
a few topics, specifically 3.
I feel like maybe we should talk like this.
Ooh, sexy.
Oh, yes.
So why did we pick this topic, Rich?
Yeah, so before we start that, let's talk about this is the last episode of season 1. So we are going out with a bang.
Yes, we are.
Bang, a real bang. But this is actually a 2-part series. We've talked about this since we kicked off the podcast. This was a topic that we really wanted to talk about, and we wanted to do kind of a 2-part. And so we call those a series because there'll be a 1 and a second podcast about
2.
this 1 and 2 about this taboo topic, right?
Right.
And so, and one of the reasons that we wanted to talk about this is because there's so much shh, hush.
But then I said to him, people like to be private about sex.
Some people do,
and that's all cool.
but some people don't, and that's
some
okay
people
too,
don't. Right.
right?
So you'll understand as we go along further. And by the way, please subscribe and like. That would be awesome.
Please.
Okay, so what are our 3 topics?
Right now, hit that subscribe
I know,
button.
right now.
Because it's going to get good.
Yeah.
Real good. You're not going to want to miss anything else from this point forward forever.
I know. So
Till we're 80 years old.
I know, because this got me. I didn't know about some of the stuff, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like Julie spent more time researching because since I'm working, I don't have all the free time during the day. But a lot of this stuff isn't foreign to me.
Right.
Just because things that have occurred in my life and processes and places that I've worked and things that I've seen, a lot of this I have been exposed to or around. I'm not going to say whether personally or whether just observed or
Just been around.
Yeah,
And I've been 20s, 30s, 40s. And
yeah.
we won't keep
So,
going with that.
I'm not going to say we've been around because that makes us sound kind of, but I mean, we've been around, right? And so
Been
these
around,
are topics
yeah.
that let's talk about it. Let's just put it out there. And so if this isn't your thing, you want to earmuff it or
It's not terrible.
it's not, it's
So
really not.
We
So
broke it down into 3 topics: fetishes, fantasies, and relationships. And all are some intertwine, but some don't, some things. So we're going to start with fetishes first. And I have a list of 28, but we're going to talk about the most common of the fetishes.
So
that
before we start
feel.
talking about fetishes,
Ooh.
would you admit to having any fetishes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, as we go through here, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
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 We've been around the block.
I think
Just once.
most people do. Most people have some type of a fetish.
Yeah.
And we should have looked up the definition of fetish.
Well, I think they'll get the vibe once we start talking about them. It's sort of exactly what we're going to talk about. Get the vibe. All right. So what are the most common? We went through these and we're like, okay, we think these are the most common.
So
this is just our...
I feel like there's layers when we talk about any of this, right? There's going to be that top layer that most people are okay with admitting or talking about.
Right.
And then we're going to get down to that next layer where people are going to be like, I'm a little more uncomfortable. I don't really know if I want to admit to that or talk
Right.
about it. And then there's that layer where people are going to be like, I'm not saying anything.
Exactly. And that's why we say it's taboo,
Right.
because people
Yeah.
just can't, because they'll be judged or looked at like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't think
why?
so, girlfriend.
Yeah. No judgment, right?
No judgment.
Do you,
right.
I don't judge anybody for their
Yeah, I
likes
don't
and
either.
dislikes
No,
when it
it's-
comes to anything.
Yeah.
And, so
Yeah.
anyway, so let's talk about
The most
some of this most common that I
that
think.
we think are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is all personal
you
opinion here.
how about spanking?
Yeah, I think that's a common one. A little spank.
A little
Yep.
spank. Is that like
Yep.
bare-handed spank or like
Yeah,
with a little
like-
paddle?
Well,
Because they
guess
make
either
those
one.
paddles and those leather thingies.
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
So spanking, I think a lot of people enjoy spanking.
Yep.
Foot fetish, I mean,
I've heard of that. I don't know anybody well, again, maybe it's just not said, but
maybe you do know somebody that has a foot
maybe I
fetish.
do. I don't
Maybe
just
you
haven't
don't. Maybe you do. You probably do.
have any. Nobody's told me they love my feet, so
Yeah, well.
guess I haven't met any.
But I feel like that's a pretty safe one. There's a lot of people that have
There's a
that.
safe one. Yes.
Lingerie.
Lingerie is a big one. I think I guess at any age.
And
Maybe more
lingerie is
younger.
one of the things that I don't get, because to me that's just like a layer. And again, not everybody has to enjoy all these, but it's just like a pointless layer. Like,
Yeah,
why
but
have that?
But it could be very sexy and sensual and bringing it in. Man likes to, sexy lingerie, high heels, all that good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, okay.
May not
I
stay
can
on
see-
long, but it's
well,
sort of part of it.
But
It
isn't
could be part of
lingerie
it.
expensive?
I guess it can be. It's been a minute.
All right. So I feel like, I don't know. To me, and again, I'm not judging because I think, everybody has the right to have it, but I don't understand that particular.
part of it.
Because to me, it's like clothes on, clothes off.
Yeah, right in.
And then this is like clothes on, then, oh, look. Ooh.
Okay, got it. So another one would be sensation play, which means like blindfold, ice cubes, as I
Ice cubes.
the
See?
But,
And I don't know. Ice cubes would be
so-
more like.
no, that could be fun.
But I think
So-
everybody's tried ice cubes. I'm pretty sure.
I would say it's pretty common.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'd say it's common.
That's one of those things I think everybody tries. Blindfolds. How do you feel about blindfolds? I'm not asking. I mean, you don't have to say
Well,
personally.
I think it's probably pretty common too.
I think so.
Blindfold.
I think
Yeah.
it is too.
Or
Feathers.
or just tie up a little
The
bit.
little love
Or
cuffs
feathers, yeah,
handcuffs.
feathers.
Feathers.
Mhm. Yeah,
I think that's a common one too.
right. Yeah, that's
Because
I think it's common.
those things like are just different sensations that
Right. And you're building it up.
it's the
Build
big
it up.
build up for that final
Yes.
ta-da!
All right.
Okay. All right. So another one I think is pretty common, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of people talk about is voyeurism
Right.
and or exhibitionism. I think people were
Do you think that's common?
exhibitionism.
Both of them.
I think voyeurism is. I think people are more likely to say that they're into voyeurism than they are into exhibitionism because they don't want to. Because if you voyeurism is the act of watching people do their thing.
In the act.
Yeah, in the act, and exhibitionism is you like to be watched.
Right.
And so I think it's easier to say, and I could be wrong, but I think for a lot of people it's easier to say, oh yeah, I like to watch, versus saying, oh yeah, I like to have people watch me.
Watch me. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure it's all common, that one.
So I mean, I think that one's pretty common.
And then we skip through many of them because we don't think they're that common. And then
We can hit back on some of these
Yeah.
after we.
Then we go to wax
play.
candle dripping.
Yeah. I've seen that. Like, okay, so I worked in a club.
Yeah.
And I think it was once a month. We had a fetish night in the club upstairs. And
Wow.
so that
Cool.
was, yeah,
Really?
it really was cool.
Yeah.
It was, it opened my eyes to a lot of things like wax play and cupping. Have you ever seen where they use those? They take like a shot glass and you take a lighter and you heat the air in the shot glass and then you stick it on your body, and as it cools, it sucks the, yeah.
No.
It's a, yeah.
I know, I've never,
Yeah.
that's a new one to me.
That's a thing. I don't
Yeah.
know what it's called,
Yeah.
but I've watched that.
We'll call it cupping.
Yeah. It
Just-
probably is called cupping.
Yeah,
actually.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, there's a whole world of stuff out there that people enjoy that you're kind of like to
Yeah.
me, I'm like, I don't know.
Now, even some of these I had never heard of. So, and then the other one we have is stranger play.
You know what? When I read that, I think
Oh.
danger.
Stranger. No, stranger. I'll go into the bar, pretend I'm someone else. You come up to me, say, "Ooh, you're hot."
I'll be Marilyn Monroe at the bar over there, and I want you to come in.
Can you go give me a blowjob?
Is that what that is? Is that stranger play?
You are just so
So-
hot. Come on.
Do you think that this is like stranger play? Is that something that people do like when they go out? Does it start to, or is it just something that you do at home? I mean, because this kind of crosses to me like into role play.
Yeah, that could be role play too.
Stranger play.
Stranger play, role play.
So and,
Yeah.
and role play is kind of, I don't know, it's
Role
like a
play I
form of
see more at
fantasy.
home, but stranger play I see more being out.
Really?
I don't know. It's just my take on it, but I could be completely wrong.
I mean,
I don't know.
so you like plan this ahead of time, and you're like, well, I'm going to be there, so you come in and.
Or it could be you go and meet somebody, and it's like, oh, you're a stranger. Let's go. Like the adventure of being a stranger.
See that in my brain can I mean, because I've seen that a lot when you work in a bar.
Yeah, you see that
That
all the time.
happens.
Sure.
I mean, I call it
Yeah.
a hookup.
Right.
It's a
Basically a hookup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stranger play.
stranger.
So
Danger,
Will Robinson.
stranger.
So which ones would you say? Because there's a lot of these there, 28 to be exact. So which ones would you say?
Well, so I do want to talk about some of these
Oh.
other ones.
Well, there's role playing. We didn't do that. Yeah, role playing.
Role-playing.
Yeah.
Like humiliation. I feel like this is
It's psychological
common.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. I don't really know how to put into words, but like,
Like call names.
yeah, being degraded. Like
Yeah.
some people like to
Right.
be the aggressive one who's, calling you bad girl or bad boy,
Right,
and then the other
right.
one's like, oh, I'm so sorry, spank me, it's that kind of thing. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's part of
Yeah.
it.
But and I think that's fairly common.
I would think so too.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I've been a bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been a bad boy. What are you going to do? Oh, no. Yeah, I think
That's probably common too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So
missed that one.
it may not be, people may not admit, I think it's pretty common, but people may not want to admit.
So I didn't know cuckolding, watching wife have sex with someone else.
So, yeah.
And then there's the opposite, which, I didn't put on here. But there's some that I didn't know. Humiliation. Well, that's sort of like the other one.
This one is like, I've never heard of
yeah.
spectrophilia.
Right.
Spectrophilia. So with October coming up, let's talk about this one.
Right.
I mean, ghosts having sex with you?
Yeah, while you sleep. So you have dreams that you're having sex with. Ghosts are having sex with you while you sleep.
I mean,
And it's real. I've never heard of that one either.
I've never heard of it.
Right.
I'm not saying that. Because what if it was like the ghost of some really hot person? I mean, come on now. I can, Like, oh.
Maybe that's really what they're dreaming about, and then they're just saying it's a ghost. Who knows?
No, it was a ghost.
No, right.
I wasn't really thinking about that person.
That's dominance and submission. We'll get into more about this one, sort of. Yeah.
Diapers and
diapers,
like adult babies. There was a so on HBO they used to do these documentaries, and they had one on
that
where the people they act like babies. They literally wore a diaper, and they were in like a playpen.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they used the diapers.
Yeah.
And like they peed in the diaper, and then their, I don't know, caregiver, whoever would change their diaper. I mean, again, it's
just different. And then
it's
this one's her urophilia. So that's
water sports.
Yeah.
Golden showers.
Golden showers.
You know what I want to say, and I don't know if you can, I feel like this is probably also more common than not. But this is one of those things that people won't want to talk about.
Yeah, they won't want to talk about this
Nobody
one. There's some people, we get together as girls, and, the close ones will talk about little things, especially when I was younger.
Is that me?
But, yeah, and you.
Am I included in that?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
But the older I get, they see it's not being talked about so much. I'm not sure why. I could have guesses, but
and see, the funny thing is, like, I know I can sit down and talk about anybody with any of these things. It doesn't like make me all or like, oh gosh, I can't talk about that.
Yeah, why is it so taboo?
Yeah.
So sadism and I have a hard time. Gets off on inflicting pain. So, yeah. But we go into that with the next one too, because it's almost like that movie, 50 Shades of Grey.
I didn't watch it.
So it's sort of like
Did
that.
they inflict pain in that one?
A little bit, yeah. Sure.
I think again, I think that there's probably that there's quite a few people that like a little bit of pain with their pleasure.
Yeah.
They may not want to admit to it, but I feel like
it could be a turn on. Well, watching 50 Shades of Grey was like, oh, okay, that could work.
Huh. See, I didn't watch it.
Yeah. I just watched it for the first time not that long ago, after all these years. And I probably liked it more than I thought I would. So, okay, I know you wanted to,
So this is one I've never... Vorophilia.
That was good. Yeah.
So about fantasy or kink, a kink, which is about fantasizing about eating someone.
Well, then go on.
Is this like
if
I could just eat you alive? I'm so turned on.
Right. It's just saying it.
Yum, 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 yum. Me cookie monster. Yum, 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 you cookie.
Well, he doesn't really eat the cookies now, does he? Sort of like that.
So, I mean, it's kind of neat that there's actually names associated with these things.
Right, I know.
But, I read these and I stop and I think and I'm like, nope, don't think I've ever even thought about that.
No. What else do you find intriguing on that? So
number 23.
Okay. Yeah.
This one goes back for me because I had I'm just going to say a coworker introduced me to this, and I didn't know it was a thing, and neither did the other coworker that was in the room with us. But tentacles.
Well, I didn't know it was a thing either, so I actually looked it up. So they're body-safe silicone testicle dildos, or tentacle dildos, and there's websites that sell them, which I went on to one.
But there is anime pornography so anime.
Yeah.
It's like cartoon.
Right.
There is tentacle anime pornography. I'm trying to use the correct terms here. Tentacles. Now, when I heard this for the first time, I was like, you're kidding me. And then this person, which I won't say who it was, but it was like, no, look.
Huh.
And I was like, what?
I know. I saw that. I was a little intrigued. I'm like, what? I got to see that.
I mean,
So-
it's like
so
a
that's
slippery
interesting.
sea serpent. A slippery sea serpent. What's that? What's the big octopus lady from The Little Mermaid?
Oh, shit. I don't know. All right. You don't need to bring... Well, we already brought
The
in
Little
Sesame Street.
Mermaid.
So I guess we're already past that. We're already over that up. Okay. All right. So,
Okay, sorry.
so age, play,
like
baby, daddy.
Daddy, and you're my.
Uh-huh.
I think that
okay.
one's probably
Oh, I
pretty
can't
common.
even say that one.
Which one are you looking at?
That one. And that one.
Oh, so there's some people. Again, I don't get it, but I'm not going to say that I haven't
Getting
heard
aroused.
of this.
You want it.
But getting aroused by vomit.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, I'm sorry. If you vomit, I'm vomiting. There's
Yeah, I'm
nothing
vomiting.
nothing going to turn me on about that.
Arousal by enemas. But this one I found fascinating. Electrostimulation.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty common kink.
Mm-hmm.
Electricity for pleasure from toy. There's toys out
Yes.
there that also do that. And I read that it's pretty common.
Yeah,
But I had
think it
never
is.
heard of that.
Yeah.
I mean, batteries is one thing, but electricity, I didn't know about it.
Yeah. I'm not an electric kind of person.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
I think I've been shocked too many times, like with an outlet or something, and I'm like, I
it's
don't know
not
how that
feeling
can
good.
be.
Yeah.
How can you be like, oh yeah, I'm really into that? Not that if you are, that it's bad. Because I feel like I know some people who are.
Yeah.
So no judgment, but for me, I'm like, ew, that's
Yeah.
gotta hurt. Like, ew,
gotta hurt.
You want to be like, ew, what the ew,
Ugh.
I'd be like, stop,
Jumping all over your
stop.
All right. So we're going to move on to the next one. The fantasies. And I'm thinking a lot of us have those. So the most people experience guilt with sexual fantasies is what I read,
Yeah.
which is interesting. But the three most common are multiple partners, BDSM, and novelty and adventure, which I guess go together.
So these are the three most common types of fantasies
Right.
that are out there. Multiple partners, so
Right.
fantasizing about being with multiple partners. BDSM, which is
They're-
a little...
Yeah, we're going to go into these more
Okay.
on the 7 because they're all so.
What is novelty and adventure, though?
Oh, we're going to hit it.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
we're going to hit it.
So-
Y'all, we got it coming on now.
So there was a big survey done about sexual fantasies, and over 4,000 people were Americans from all over the country, from every race, gender, income, politically, all that, religion. So the top 7 fantasies. That's what I found. Number 1. What do you think number 1 is?
Oh, fantasies.
Take a guess.
About somebody else.
Yeah. You do that better.
Oh,
No.
oh, it was
Multiple partners. But I'm not necessarily sure if these go in order.
What's this
Well,
mean?
80% of women
87.
fantasize about having multiple partners, and 95% of men.
Men.
So these are just fantasies we
So
have.
men fantasize more about being with multiple partners than
partners.
women.
Right. But not by much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would think so. Growing up a woman and knowing men,
Well, I mean,
they let's have a
it's two
threesome.
different
Let's have a
huh?
But I was surprised to see how many women. That's pretty high.
I think if we would have gone back 10 years, that number would be much lower.
Yeah.
And not to say that I feel like that actually is less the number of people that fantasize about mom, but I think it would have been less people that would admit to doing it.
Right.
So,
And why is it so taboo?
I mean, if you think about it,
back to that.
I feel like this is going to be 100% across the board, because at some point in your life, I feel like you're probably
Fantasize
going to
about
fantasize about something.
somebody. Yeah, okay.
Like
So
if you close your eyes, can you see Thor? Like
Yes.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Sorry. Go back.
Okay.
All right.
What's the next one?
BDSM. So bondage, discipline, sadomasochism. Okay, so you have this about the 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey.
Almost all reported to have daydreams about this.
96% women and 93% men, although varies. Percentages vary with each of those.
So more women.
But they may differ. They may be more here. They may be more bondage, discipline, sado.
So do you think when you're doing like this BDSM fantasy, are you fantasizing about you're the one who's being
Are you asking me,
the
or are you
side?
just asking the audience?
No, I'm asking anybody. Is this, so when you fantasize about, if like this is your thing, then you like to fantasize about, are you fantasizing about somebody else like tying you up and smacking you around a little bit, or, you know,
Whips and the bondage and the,
or are you the one who's doing it to somebody?
depends on your fantasy that evening, I would suppose. Maybe Monday it's one way, maybe Wednesday it's the next.
It could very well be.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
It's called a fantasy.
It is, and that is why it is a fantasy. Oh, maybe you got up and you had coffee, and you're like, oh, okay, coffee means this today. Tomorrow you have a glass of milk.
This is, you could read that one.
Okay, so this sexual novelty and adventure. Top sexual fantasy involves oral and anal play, particularly those who haven't done it. 60% dream of giving or receiving. Fellatio or cunnilingus. So wait, 60% dream of giving or receiving. So it's oral sex, basically.
Right.
And then more than 1/3 of men fantasize about, anal butt
Anal.
sex.
Yeah.
Butt sex. We'll just call it butt sex.
About sex.
Butt sex.
So that's,
I mean, so none of this surprises me.
right.
Did it surprise you?
No. No, that didn't, none of that surprised me. No. Right.
I think that oral sex is probably like one of the most common.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope. I think. Yeah. Especially for a woman.
And this men fantasizing about
Yeah.
bottom sex. That doesn't surprise me either. I mean, it's just like I don't want to say, there you go. I don't want to say why, but I think
Okay.
everybody can figure that out for themselves.
Right.
What's number 4?
Well, number 4 is sort of we were talking about in the first topic. It's taboo / forbidden sex. So voyeurism, exhibitionism, fetishes, and oddly enough, incest. Like, I didn't understand that one. But whatever floats your boat. So we covered that pretty much, but these are fantasies that people would have. So it says so.
So let's talk. I'm going to talk on this for just a second, because
Yep.
when we read this and we say incest, I think a lot of people who maybe are not exposed to a lot of things are immediately going to think this is like includes children. And I can't say for certain for everybody, but I know out in the world, I think that this fantasy, you're always going to have people who are unhealthy and have, bad intentions. But as far as fantasies and role playing, I think this kind of is like a daddy and a girl, or uncle and a nephew. There are a lot of people, and it doesn't necessarily mean children.
That fantasize.
It's like that.
Just a fantasy.
It is.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I don't necessarily get that one, but
Okay, so I brought up a stat on the voyeurism, though, that watching people have sex without their knowledge. Oh, without their knowledge, it's as high as 60% they fantasize about that. So
So like creeping in on somebody and be like,
it's just a fantasy, though. It's just like,
Oh.
go watch you.
without them knowing.
Well, that's what it said. Yeah, have sex without their knowledge. 60%.
Oh, we talked about
But
this,
it's
like
just
a
a
drone.
fantasy.
A drone.
Oh, yeah, a
Yeah.
drone.
It's a drone.
Oh, no ideas.
But this is just a fantasy. Like
These
you're
are just
fantasizing
fantasies.
about walking
Right,
in and
it
watching
just would
somebody.
get, yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So
Got it.
non-monogamy, not
Blah,
monogamy.
blah, blah,
Blah,
blah,
blah,
blah,
blah.
blah, Samaganagity.
So
Sounds like a
partners,
milkshake.
more than 2/3 of the study at least occasionally fantasized about it, which
So let's talk
That's a
about
lot.
monogamy,
Yeah.
just in case there's somebody out there that's not familiar with the term.
right
Monogamy is basically when you are together, like
Just you
ice
and your
creams and
spouse.
chocolate sauce together. I mean, so it's just like a committed relationship where you don't involve anybody else. It's just
right.
you. Now, it can be more than two people, but it's going to be
That's
whatever that.
non-monogamy.
Yeah.
But again, these are just fantasies. So how many of us have truly thought about that? Okay. Well,
think
2/3 of the study.
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty. I feel like it probably a little bit more higher than 2/3.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Are you saying something about that? Feeling good there? Okay.
Okay.
This one's interesting too.
Hmm.
Flexibility,
Wait, I'm flexible.
homoeroticism. Oh, God.
Oh, no, not that kind of flexibility.
No. So that means to replace your partner in your fantasy with maybe another, the opposite sex, just anything bisexual, gay, lesbian, whatever. Just replace your partner with the other side.
To be like, I would replace you with Thor. Not that we're,
Yeah.
but that's.
That would be it.
Yeah.
But he's mine.
Do you want to arm
He's
wrestle?
really not mine. he's just
Thor,
nice.
if you're
Just
watching
nice to have
this,
around. Yeah, he's nice to
this
have around.
conversation would be much easier if you were here.
So that fantasy is more common with women at 59% and men at 26%.
So, okay, so all right. So does that mean that 59% of women
Like in their fantasies might be saying,
replace their
yeah,
opposite
maybe,
sex person with the same sex kind
Yeah,
of
right.
situation? Okay,
right.
I got it.
I mean, have you ever been into, strip clubs and stuff? I've been in strip clubs, but just when I was younger, just riding around the motorcycle.
You can tell I've never been a stripper.
Yeah, never. Nice moves. Yeah. You're hired.
Oh, gosh. Pay him to get off the stage quick.
Well, then you can start singing.
And make even more money. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
What's that next one there? Passion and romance. Ooh. Romance.
But that one's interesting too, because it's not what you think.
Okay, so explain that one to me.
It's it's tended, not always, to be tied to particular individuals, though often not about regular partners. Perhaps former partners, distant partners, or deceased partners. So more than half of the study fantasized about this, which I thought was interesting. So your boyfriend from 20 years ago, or your girlfriend from 20 years ago, whatever. They're fantasizing about that person instead of their current partner. And that is, passion and romance fantasy. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm getting some fuzz.
Oh, are you? Oh.
Are you not hearing that?
Oh, I think maybe it's my hair or something. It seems like each
I'm
time I
hearing
move,
fuzz.
each time I move, it's my fuzz.
No, it's like after. Hello?
Okay.
No, I
But,
don't hear it.
all right, did say Sexual fantasies are healthy and sex enhancing.
Seriously.
So we're all good. Sex fantasies are good.
So again, one of the reasons to talk about this is not just to be crazy and talk about sex, because that wasn't the point, because we can talk about that anytime. But it was to just say that these are normal things, right? And so these are healthy. It's not bad. But again, we're going to get into why. Why do I have to say that? Why do I have to say that, these things we're talking about, these, they're not bad, and they're not, why is it that it's
not accepted when
bad?
Right. Because there's some of us like to talk about it.
Because I'm a nice person.
You're a nice person.
And I don't have a problem at all talking about this stuff. So does that make me then a not nice person?
And right. Then I'm judging you already, by the way. Yeah.
Judging. My eyeballs are judging you.
That's right. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So the last one?
Relationships.
Yes.
Do you like how I rolled that R?
Very much so.
Relationships.
Yes. All right. So, pulled up some fun little things. It's there were 20. This is going to be about open relationships, because that's intrigued me for 30 years.
So can we talk about what is open versus not open?
Well, explain what open is.
It's like when you open a can. So again, I think this goes back to monogamous, which is a non-open.
Yes, same.
And then non-monogamy is kind of an open relationship. And there's a whole wide world of that type of relationships, whether it's swingers.
Right.
Right. What's the difference between... Nope, there is a difference. I don't know. I just answered my own question.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. So, 20 pros and cons. And I've thought about this a lot, as I was saying, and
Did you give this a lot of thought?
just a little.
Were you like deep in thought about this?
I was so
And
deep.
you're like,
The last 30 years, I've given this a lot of thought. One divorce out, one divorce done.
Yeah,
And I just wondered, I don't know, but so I think I have my own personal opinions, which doesn't matter. But it was interesting to see the 10 pros and 10 cons. So
let's talk about it.
let's talk about it, Rich. And I want to say before this that a lot of it religion, just all of it can come into play with that kind of thing.
Culture.
I was just listening to a podcast about crime. Yeah. You okay there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just
And
checking, see if there was a reason.
Yeah. And not supposed to fool around different religions, but yet this podcast they did. And I'm like, okay, all right. So anyways, 10 pros. All right, I'm just going to go through this. Provide emotional freedom.
Da-da-da. Wait a minute. Wait.
Okay.
Provides emotional freedom. So if you have an open relationship, a pro is it gives you emotional freedom.
I think that'll come it'll play in later. Okay. Meet all your sexual needs, because maybe your partner doesn't want to do stuff. So
maybe you have a foot fetish and your partner doesn't, and
right.
you want somebody to engage in that foot fetish.
Right. So
Gotcha.
that's a pro.
That's
create a deeper bond, which I'm assuming means create a deeper bond with your husband, because you're experiencing new things with others and you can bring back.
Yep.
Reasonable expectations, again, brought back to the house, and know your expectations amongst each other because you're being fulfilled elsewhere. Openness, no more cheating, so therefore no more heartache. If your partner cheats on you, then it's like, oh no, that's okay.
because it's open and you know about
it's
it.
Open. Yeah.
You know what's going on.
Right. Want to go?
So more connections. So you got more people in your life, obviously. I mean, if you're out there.
More friends.
Yep. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay, more friends.
You can have a lot more friends.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know yourself, your own needs and desires and boundaries. I mean, I think that's a huge one.
Right.
Better communications. as far as sharing yourself and talking about what you like and don't like.
Right.
Less risk of failure, that feeling of failing sexually when you're
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And it's fun. I like how that's number 10.
I know.
It's fun.
It's just fun.
It's just fun.
It's just sexually fun.
It's fun. It's like getting on a roller coaster. It's
Woo!
fun.
Up and down, all around.
So I think, so these are the pros to an open relationship. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people that watch this who the very thought of this type of talk, just even thinking about open relationship is cringy. Like it's
yeah, for sure. And nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's
But
right.
I think, again, the whole purpose of this conversation is just to kind of, you can feel cringy about it, but maybe try
your
not to
next
feel
door neighbors-
cringy about it for everybody else.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because
why is it so taboo?
I
If
think
it's working for them.
I know people who
No biggie.
have, in the past many years of my life, I've known many people who are in open relationships.
Yeah.
And it's not, and that's across the board, not just heterosexual or
Right.
homosexual, but
Right.
Bisexual. I mean, I've known a lot
It's
of
all
people.
over.
Yeah.
Right.
And so no judgment at
Right.
all.
Right.
That's between you and your partner
Right.
and what works between you, your partner, and your circle of friends that
Right.
you're making out there,
Right.
having fun.
I tried to look up stats on this to see if it works, but I couldn't find anything. So the cons.
So let's talk about the potential downfalls
Yeah. Right.
of an open relationship.
Right. So the first one is fair. I guess just fearful going and doing it. Yeah, oh my gosh. You see a spider? Is there a snake?
Is that a slippy, slimy snake over there? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
All right, that was good.
fear. That was my fear.
That was good. That was your fear. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Are you afraid?
I'm not
Okay.
afraid anymore.
I think the next one could be a big one, jealousy. I would get jealous.
Would you?
I think so, yeah. And well, I guess if I was not in, well, this will go on to the next one. I do hear that.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, jealousy would probably be a big one for me. But I guess if you're confident in your relationship and, it works. Yeah, we're getting a little staticky.
I'm going to lean over the table,
Okay.
show you my flexibility.
All right.
It's that guy right there.
Oh, is he being funny? Still hear it. Well, I'm going to go on to the next one.
Oh, that's not even coming in now, is it?
Yeah, I hear it.
You do?
Yeah,
I don't.
you don't?
It's the headset.
Oh. I can get the other one.
That's weird. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties in the middle of our very
The next one is
serious-
risk of disease. Well, he's fooling around over there. Risk of
Well, I'm
disease.
fooling around. Let's talk about the risks.
Which would be huge. So,
Yeah.
understandably, you have to use condoms and all that
And
protection.
I think that's pretty, anything sexual
right,
right
risk
now,
of
there's
disease.
a risk
yeah,
of disease. So.
right. And secrecy. So, so it might be tempting to start lying to your partner. Oh, I'm going to go down for a gallon of milk. And suddenly you're getting more into this one of the people, and
One of
then
your
you're
hookups
starting to lie.
in your circle of friends that you had fun with.
Right, and then you're starting to lie to your significant other, and so that's a downfall.
I'm going for milk.
I'm being secret. Yeah.
I'll be back in 2 hours.
Right. Going to get the kids from school. You're an hour early.
I'm going to get some chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
In the parking lot.
Okay.
Okay. Crazy logistics. If your life gets too hectic, you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with sports, you're dealing with your own life, your own spouse, and then suddenly you got to fit all that in, and it just gets too crazy. So apparently that's the thing. It just gets too nutty. Oh, well, you finish it. I'll go get the other one. Okay? Keep going.
Okay.
I'll be back.
So this is a real show. So we are experiencing technical, and again, our producer is not here. I'm so tired of this. Anyhow, so the next one on the list here of a con would be different expectations. Oh, it just stopped.
Huh?
It just stopped.
Oh, all right, let's give it a whirl.
That's really weird. Okay. Yeah, it did.
All right, good. Okay.
Strange.
So where are we at, Rich?
So we're still here at
In
different
the dish.
expectations.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what that means.
Which, well, you and your
Oh.
partner go into it with different,
Different
different expectations of what to get out of it, perhaps, or
Okay, now I get it. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
You may want, you may want just sex. You may want that, or
I like the
Uh.
existential angst. I just like saying that. I don't know. I've got existential angst.
Ah.
Oh, I can't.
So that means what this show's all about, society knowing about your relationship. Shh, taboo.
So taboo.
Can't tell anybody. Go and do it with everybody.
Do you know what the funny thing about that is? I love when people tell me, okay, so anyways, I love people. I love the story of people, all people. I like everybody's story. And I absolutely love it when somebody is comfortable enough with their situation to talk about stuff like this, like having an open relationship.
Right.
And
Well, I think that you have to, it wouldn't be on the first conversation meeting somebody new.
Test.
Maybe this.
Test. Sorry.
They're like going to not going to meet somebody for the first time. Yep. Me and my husband. Yeah.
Hey.
Do you see people coming and going?
We're open.
Yeah, we're open.
Hi, we just moved in, so if you see cars coming and going all hours of the day and night, we're open.
That's what we're
And
about.
we're open.
You may want to give it a few meets. Okay. Next one, stress and anxiety avoidance. So,
Oh.
right.
Yeah. I'm okay with it, honey.
Yeah, right. What's right? Yeah.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Is Al going to be there? Or yeah. Is Rich going to be there?
I'm okay with it. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why, like, in order to even consider this type of relationship, you have to really have a strong, open relationship with your partner. I mean, because you're really going to have to understand each other and know, how these actions affect your partner. Is it? Because I feel like sometimes one may really, really be interested in having an open relationship, and the other one may be like, but they can kind of be talked into it, and so they're like, okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll try it for you.
Okay.
I'll try it for
Sure.
you.
Yeah. And I feel like then that's probably not going to work out so well.
Right.
I think you really have to really talk it through and be okay, and why is it? Because I feel like a lot of people, and here I am going into this, but a lot of people, I feel like if Thor and I were together and Thor came to me and said, Rich, I was checking Julie out and she's kind of making my hammer heavy to carry. So I'd like to hook up with Julie. What do you think? I might be like,
Right.
for some people, be like, that bitch.
Right. You'll hate
She
me.
did that on purpose.
Right.
No,
I
but it might be natural to be like, you can't hear you.
I don't think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Something freaky's going on. I might be like, oh, well, what is it? What's wrong with me?
Right.
Why do you want,
That's how I would feel too. Like, you're not getting enough from me. But, right, this would be tough. So priority issues, might stop prioritizing primary relationship. And that's sort of what we're talking about. Maybe make the partners. So this is just
But do you not feel like, so to me, I feel like if that happens, it was probably bound to happen anyways.
Probably. I don't know. I can't answer that.
I'm answering it.
I'm not saying in all situations that would be true.
I feel like if, in my opinion, and this is what's great, because I can have an opinion.
You can have an opinion.
And you can have
Yeah.
But I feel like if
you start prioritizing,
if you start making the pull towards somebody else,
right,
then there's a reason.
Yeah, there's something
right,
wrong
and
on
so
the other side. Mm-hmm. It's tough. And then the last one is just expensive. A con.
The dinners and gifts.
I know, dinners. He said birthdays, and so I guess you're bringing like all these gifts. We'll meet you for dinner.
That's something to think about before you decide to
I can't have
go
sex after dinner.
Yeah, open that relation. Oh my gosh. Well, I've got 13 on my list. Now I've got to get 13 birthday gifts and 13 Christmas presents and 13 anniversary gifts.
Exactly.
I can see how that would get expensive. Unless you were like, hey, look, we're not doing that. We're just doing this.
We're just going to take that off the table.
We're going to do this, but not that.
Right. So we have a few stats which we thought were sort of fun and sort of interesting on relationships. Okay, the one that I saw was, sex toys specifically. And because we got to talking about that and the market for it. And I wish I would have done this like 20 years ago. Just in 2020, they made $35.1 billion.
With a B.
With a B. Oh my gosh, right? So it's estimated by 2030 that they're going to make over $63 billion in sex toys. That's a stunner.
This is one of those things that I love to talk about because the proof is right here. Right? If there's this much money in sex toys, then there's a lot of people. But it's not like the same 12 people, who are buying. There's a lot of people. And a lot of those people are probably people that don't want anybody to know.
And that's okay too. Again, that's okay too. Some people are more private than others.
As long as you're not judging other people for buying them and you're hiding them in your box.
You can't be a hypocrite.
Right. Thank you. Don't be a hypocrite.
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly.
Thanks.
So, we were thinking it's security, religion, I'm not fair. We talked about that, right? And I don't know. He said he didn't believe this stat, but I looked at a few things. Divorce has declined in the last 10 years.
Do you think that's because less people were actually getting married? Because I feel like the younger people today aren't necessarily getting married.
No, there was a big article on that. There was by far more people getting married. There's a lot of people still get married. Maybe later, perhaps. I think COVID probably played a part in this one, but per the CDC, 2.3 out of 1,000 get divorced, to 2.3 to 2.9.
I still think that's
I know it seems low,
inaccurate.
But yeah, I don't know. And then monogamy.
Non-monogamy. Monogamy. Monogamy.
So an estimated 21% have tried it.
Tried being not monogamous.
Yes. Right.
Excuse me.
And then he asked me last night about sex toy shows, to flip back to that. And what'd you say?
I have attended one. Which typically it's run. I don't even know the name of the organization, so it doesn't really matter. But they have these in-home like Avon parties or Tupperware.
But it's sex toys.
But it's
Yeah.
They don't call them sex toys. They call them some pleasure or something.
Something pleasure, right.
Whatever, it is what it is. But I was invited, and then it was like, oh, you can't be here because you're a guy. And guys aren't allowed. Oh. However, the friend who was hosting the party said, nope, he's going to stay. And so I stayed. Yeah. But it kind of brought up then, I was like, I mean, I can understand why you may not want to mix men and women, because I think, like we said, I feel like there's a lot of women then that would like close up. Yeah. And would not, right. Because women are different with their girlfriends than they are with men. Right. So I can see that. But I mean, I also feel like you're missing a whole market out there. If you're
you should do that. I don't know if men would go. They wouldn't go. Oh, we're going to a pleasure party, honey.
Pleasure party. Rich is hosting it. Oh, sure.
Gotta have a lot of beer.
Go on. Yeah.
And this is.
Yeah.
And that is.
I mean, you know what? The funny thing about that. And if you haven't ever been to one, have you ever been to one?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so if you haven't ever been to one, and I'm clearly most men are not going to know what, they've never been to one. Right. I've got like the inside.
What the wives told them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like it's not dirty and raunchy, It's not, so you talk about sex toys, and I think a lot of people automatically are like, oh my God.
No, it's not dirty and raunchy, but a lot of the stuff, you can get online, but it is sort of interesting to see, although I haven't been at one for years, maybe what's new out there.
Well, you know what was a little weird, though? Is we had to play this game.
Oh, where there's always games.
One girl like this, and then I had to go like this into her hand, and so everybody's looking. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I guess that's why men aren't allowed.
Yeah. I guess.
It was just interesting. He says,
it was just me, so it's not like. So
I had to look into that a little bit, but.
Interesting. But I mean, it's a huge moneymaker. Huge moneymaker. Huge. Just as, so is corn, minus the C, added a P. The corn industry. Yeah, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in
the next one.
Next.
Well, I think
in the series.
You got anything else? Because
no, I kind of hope that people, if you're watching this and you're somebody that gets a little skittish about talking about this kind of stuff, that you can see through this conversation that it is normal, and it's okay if you don't want to go out and talk about it with people, but don't. We should never judge anybody for their securities and freedoms to be able to talk about stuff openly like this, right? I love when people are secure enough with themselves and open enough to talk about
different things.
Like things that, I'm very open. I will talk about any of this stuff pretty much with anybody. You start talking
certainly we've
conversation,
talked about
it. Yeah, constipation, whatever. Yeah. I'm an open book, but again, I think that's how we grow as humans, is learning from each other, and so why not? There we go. That's just why not.
Okay.
Why not? Why not just be open and talk about it? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. We'll be back in
so the next one will actually
weeks.
Be. Oh wait! Shout out! Shout out! We have a couple birthdays. So we got to throw a shout out to the G-Man, Gary.
Yep.
And then somebody else has a birthday before our next
podcast.
Yeah.
Good still to be around. Yeah. Woo. Virgo, baby. Virgo. So.
I won't sing to you.
All right. Thank you.
But,
appreciate that.
So next one will actually be episode 1 of season 2.
It will.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Can you believe it?
So please subscribe and like. Really
please like us.
Just like us.
Like us and
cool.
Subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
We are working on. I'm getting this out. This has been a challenge with the platform that we're currently using to get our podcast out and uploaded to another platform so we
Right.
can get it more out there.
Yeah.
But we are working on it. So
Yes, we
one of
are.
these days you will be able to find us on other
Platforms.
platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Hey,
See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for sharing. I got to find what we're doing here
Okay.
because our producer isn't here
All right.
again.
Okay. See you next time.
Thanks for
Bye, Thor.
watching. Bye, Thor. And if you're watching, right here, right there.
Huh.
Bye.